All right, hi family, it's me. I'm back again. I'm kind of doing a double feature this weekend and doing two videos. I'm doing this one because this is like so important, especially with the things that are going on in the world today, in our community today. So this key is going to be very, very helpful in terms of really being able to get a handle on how to begin turning things around and how to begin to really have command over your thoughts and emotions and how you perceive things. So, which is very, very key in being able to change things around. Now, this is the seventh key. Okay, I did keys 1 through 6. So, if you haven't seen those yet, I suggest you go through them. They build on each other, so you want to be able to go through them in the order so you can get that clarity and understanding and allow yourself to have them build upon each other so they can be as effective as they can be for you. So this is the seventh key. The seventh key is no right or wrong, no lesser or greater. Simply it is what it is. Now this one is going to be a little bit longer because what I'm feeling to do that will really allow you to understand the process is I'm going to read several, I'm going to read a couple pages to you so you can understand how to use this key most effectively. Now, this key is really powerful because if you're willing to be accountable and responsible for you, for how you feel about the world, how you move in the world, if you want to be fully accountable and responsible for that, how you feel, how you respond to upsetting or down and out, dramatic and cruel situations. This key is supports you in replacing, what ends up, as being destructive choices into what is constructive choices. And it does so unconditionally and responsibly. And that is those two key things, unconditionally responsibly, that is the key in being able to make changes quickly, to make changes almost overnight. So that's the power of these keys, is they keep you in that unconditional space where you are able to change quickly. I mean, it's not going to take you years and years and years. It'll take a very short period of time, and you can change huge things in a short period of time, using this concept of the keys and being unconditionally responsible with them. Now, let's move on with the keys. Okay, now before I do that, I want to give you a caveat, okay, as we go through these keys, that or this key in particular. So it's not about, whatever you're experiencing, you're going to use this key when you are in the middle of an upset, all right? And it's not about, you know, discounting or lessening whatever tragic or dramatic situation that you're going through or may have gone through. It's simply about you having an empowering tool to change the focus from what you have no power to change, because you don't have any power to change the past, no power, zero power. But in the Black community, that's where a lot of our focus has been, is in the past and what happened to us. And again, it's not about discounting it or lessening it, but you can't change anything if you focus on the past. Okay, and it also doesn't mean to that you're um, no longer holding responsible those that caused you harm in the past. All right, it doesn't mean you're letting them off the hook, but it's, again, this focus and my focus is to show you how you can change your life, how to change things so things you're more abundant, you're more in ease, and you're more in grace. You, um, so being able to shift your focus to the now, because that is the only place where you do have power and you can change the future from the now. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is go over the steps that you would use this key and how you would approach it. So again, this key is no right or wrong, no lesser or greater, simply it is what it is. This is, keeps you in that unconditional space. So, first, without interpreting through judgment or blame, making anything right or wrong or lesser or greater, simply by being an observer, record the facts of what you would like to change. Second, candidly look at your current outcome and realize that no matter what you may project into the situation, by what you think is the truth, the outcome really is the truth. Third, standing in the truth of what is gives you the opportunity to go beyond what you may conditionally think is happening and look more honestly at what is really happening. Looking at any situation from the viewpoint that there is no right or wrong, no lesser or greater, it is then easy to structure responsible, unconditional choices around what is real and true from what is. Fourth, allowing the truth of what is, then being unconditionally responsible for what you created, will set any angers, fears, conditional ways you may have surrounding the situation free from recreating through any unconscious, unproductive habits, patterns, programs that still exist in your subconscious. Fifth, any attempt to change the future from the past will fail. You can only change the effects from the past and what the future will hold by staying in the now. The past is the past. It will never change. It is so over. Take responsibility for what you created and move on. If your beliefs remain connected to what you conditionally think the situation is, you will continually experience loss, lack, unhappiness, struggles, discord, and illness because that is what conditional, fear-based choices create. Allow the situation to be an opportunity to go deep inside you to discover the truth of what creates any discord in your life by viewing the situation from the position of no right or wrong, no lesser or greater. It is what it is. From this unconditional, responsible position, you can escape and free yourself from any taunts of the past instead of reliving different discords from what formed in anger, fear. When you appreciate, honor, and respect the truth of what you created by being an observation of you in the experience, you have an opportunity to move into a free and abundant reality if you respond to the experience through unconditional responsibility. 6. There are no winners or losers, no right or wrong, no lesser or greater. The situation is simply what it is. Knowing this will help you release misperceptions of what you think the situation is about. Remember, you cannot see in another what is not within you. You will see in another what you are attempting to resolve within yourself. If what you see is irritating or upsetting in any way, it is a part of that which you are upset or irritated with that you are still attempting to work out unconditionally and responsibly. It is that simple. 7th, you can only determine for yourself without clear facts or complete understanding. It is impossible to determine for another what motivates, it is impossible to determine for another what motives may be behind another's choices or actions. If you are attempting to determine a situation for another, or what you think they are doing and why, this will move you away from allowing what is. Allowing what it is to be what it is without making it wrong is a way to transcend old fear. Being unconditional and accountable for what you created moves you out of your past, unresolved upsets that live in your subconscious mind, into being more accountable for the responsibility of being your love. instead of attempting to receive that love from how you think people should react and respond to you. Remember, when an emotional state during any upsetting interaction that is retriggering your subconscious fear, observe you. Did you react through your fears as it was retriggered? Did you attempt to place your fear on another or on your experience? Were you accountable for your fear by responding through allowance? Did you replace what you feared with being unconditionally responsible for what you were feeling or responding to? So, lastly, I just want to say this last part. Do not blame another or even yourself for your emotional responses. Do not place blame on what you think is another's actions for your reaction. Do not place blame on yourself for what you think your actions or do not place blame on yourself for what you think were your actions or your reaction. And allow yourself to respond to discontents and upsets through unconditional responsibility, and life will change for the better. This is not, again, I'm going to say this again, this is not about discounting or lessening whatever tragic or dramatic situation you might have gone through or are going through right now. This is simply about giving you an empowering tool to change focus from what you have no power to change, the past, to using your power for what you can change, the moment in your future. Now, this is really deep. I suggest you go back and listen to this over and over again, or even better, go get your own copy of the 12 Keys, and you can read it, because reading does something additional to you as you use um, that ocular experience. It's our human body is so amazing, and what it does and how we take in information, and that's why we were so easily programmed, because the white supremacists, the slave owners in our past, they knew a lot of this information. They knew it and they used it. That's another reason why we weren't allowed to learn how to read as slaves, because it was reading frees your mind. It changes your mind and it expands your mind. You don't want your slaves expanding their mind and begin thinking for themselves. So it is, if you want to look back at everything that was done, and you can begin to see how things were programmed and positioned to keep that mindset of servitude, not really wanting more, your um, accepting things as they are. I mean, that's a big thing in the religion and the Christianity that was taught to black people in this country. It's not the same Christianity that was taught to white people. Um, it was taught to endure harsh situations, endure things, and that's not how we're supposed to live. That's not how anyone's supposed to live. So it's just interesting. I'm getting a little bit off course here, because it everything just ties in so much. So again, but that's another lesson. So this key is so important, and to give you an example of this key, with a lot of there's a thing in the black community that we've been dealing with, where there's a lot of black men bashing black women, and there's some black women that are bashing back, but right now there's more black men bashing about black women. You can see it online. It's clearly what do I want to say, a definable fact, because you can just compare the number of videos that are out there, so, and the number of people are doing it, and it's more heavy on the men's side. So this is to give you black men, this is that are doing the bashing, to give you a little gift in terms of how to um, handle and how to deal with that anger that is inside of you right now, which is the source of why you're doing what you're doing, you know. So here's another way to look at the whole situation, to look at your anger toward the world and your anger toward black women who you feel that they've let you down somehow. Um, This is to free you of that, because right now you are being held hostage to it. And this is a gift to free you of that. So one of the things that you can first start out, all right, is, any feelings that you may come up, feelings of anger, toward black women, you know, just observe them, okay? And just understand that right now there's something inside of you that hasn't been addressed. And the fact that there's black women out there that are giving you this gift of, hey, address this, and you can, when you address this, you can free that part of yourself, and just allow more ease and abundance into your life. Um, so again, all right, you can candidly look at that situation, of the outcome. Maybe there is a woman in your life that did you wrong, okay, in whatever way, shape, or form. So instead of judging her for what she did, instead of judging yourself for what you experienced, or maybe what thought you allowed to happen, okay, instead of judging, just look at what the outcome was. Um, so there's, because no matter what you may think has happened, there's what you think happened and what really happened. And as long as you judge, you can't really see what happened. Because I guarantee when you begin to look at this, you can begin to see under the cover. You can begin to see um, uh, behind the door, so to speak, to get a real and true understanding of the whole situation. Okay, and so then when you stand in, it is what it is. Okay, so what happened between me and this woman is what happened. Okay, I'm not going to judge it. It's just something that what happened. And when you do that, all right, from there's no right or wrong, you're not making yourself wrong, you're not making her wrong, you're not making the situation wrong. It just is what it is. Um, then when you do that, you can allow the truth, the real truth of what really occurred and what that was for you. What that was, I mean, what that was for her is what it was for her. That's not any of your concern or whatever. Um, but you can see what it was for you. And the fact that you reacted to it, or that you had that experience, there's something inside of you that experience gave you the opportunity to address, to be able to strengthen yourself, to be able to um, clear up something that was holding you back. I can guarantee when you have situations like this, it's because there is something that is holding you back that you have inside of you, some belief that is keeping you from having what you want. Because there's a certain intention that you want, and that's why you're reacting to the situation, because you want one thing, and this situation has occurred that is keeping you from having what you want, and so that's part again where that anger is coming from. And so instead of judging it, instead of judging that woman, instead of judging yourself, instead of judging the situation, you can look at it as this, the belief that has influenced this situation into being, because it's influenced your choices, which has created the situation, has is what is holding you back from having what you want. So by not judging it, and by standing in the truth of what it is, all right, you can begin to uncover what that belief is that you have. Because I hear from these men over and over, they say all women are like this. Well, what happened, because they say they all want thugs, or they all, this or that. And they're probably running into similar type of women that are giving them the similar type of experiences. And that's because they didn't look at the experience without judging it. And so it's going to keep happening over and over and over again until you say, whoa, okay, what belief do I have that is causing me to re-experience this, because I'm not addressing it? And so it's going to continue to happen until you address it. So that's why you have the perception that maybe all women are like that. Okay, but no, you're just attracting those ones that are like that, so you can discover what it is that is keeping you from having what you say you want, what your heart desires, what your soul desires. All right, so the next thing that you want to do is, instead of focusing on the past, instead of focusing on all the wrong these women have done to you, okay, what you want to do, or let me reword it, instead of focusing on all the wrong you think these women have done to you, because it's a perception, um, and we're not judging, okay, instead of focusing on that, all right, because you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. It's the past. If you keep focusing on that, then you will continue to repeat the situation. You continue to repeat similar types of situations. You'll continue to meet the same kind of women because you're not allowing yourself to move on, and grow from it, and use that situation to grow from it. So what it is, and this is life. Life just works this way. This is just the way life works. Um, so again, what you want to do, all right, is you want to focus on the now and focus on the future. And the way that you do that, the way that you can begin to release yourself from the past, is you just say, no right or wrong, no lesser or greater, it is what it is. You just focus on the key. No right or wrong, no lesser or greater, it is what it is. So you begin to reshift your perception and reshift your focus. Okay? And, again, the next step, okay, is there are no winners or losers, okay? So it's like, she didn't, the women in the past that have wronged you, they didn't get one up over on you, all right? You didn't get one up over on them. It was just a situation that occurred, okay? And again, allowing yourself. Now, this is a choice. You can choose to do this or you can't. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to choose my anger, or do I want to choose having a better and happier life? So if you want to continue to choose your anger, that's your choice. There's no right or wrong in that. Just understand, if you make that choice, nothing will change for you. And complaining about how women are is not standing in the integrity and the responsibility that you continue to choose your anger. So if you want to choose happiness, then you will look at the past situation, that there's no winners or losers. They didn't do you wrong. These women didn't do you wrong or right or whatever. Okay, it just was an experience that allowed you to see what is going on within you that may be keeping you from having the kind of life that you say you want, that you long for, and that you desire. As long as you judge it as they did you wrong, you will never be able to see what is blocking you. It's just, you can't do it because the energy won't allow you to do it. Okay, the frequency of your thoughts will not allow you to get there. This is changing the frequency of your thoughts so you can unlock that and you can change your life. That's what this key is doing. Okay, so seventh. Again, you can only determine for yourself, all right, what it is, how this situation is supporting you in discovering that and discovering what is holding you back. You can only determine for yourself what the situation was for you. Because I guarantee you, and everyone, listening to this, that all experiences that happen to us, they're for us to know what we need to do to have what we say we want to have. So if there's experience, and they're not always going to come in a pretty package with pink and blue bows. They're not. So this key is important because it allows you to use those experiences. Now, we as Black people have a unique set of experiences that can be quite intense. But also look at the gift because of the intensity of it. Because of the things that have happened to us and how deep they go. We may require those intense experiences to allow us to unlock what's going on, or unlock that programming that's so deep within us. So So this is the beginning to shift your perception. Now, again, in saying that, if the other person that caused you harm, it does not release them from the responsibility of what they did. They're still responsible for any harm or damage or whatever they caused. So, but this is allows you to empower yourself, so you're not doing destructive things like, oh, I forgive you and blah blah blah, because then you take on their you take on their responsibility of what they did, a responsibility that belongs to them, and it's only burdening you down. Okay, but it allows you to free yourself and move forward and use that situation that occurred to um, to have the silver lining. This key allows you to get the silver lining out of every situation that occurs with you. Okay? So when you train yourself to do this and you automatically begin doing it, you will see your life turn around faster than anything you've ever thought before. But it's really, really, really important to um, to incorporate this key. So I highly recommend you get the 12 keys to really understand, because there's more in here. I just wanted to give you the meat of it, and begin using all of these keys, because that's basically what it is. This is how to live the silver lining of the clouds that come into our life. And as a community, the Black community, we have a ton of clouds, okay? But that means there's an opportunity for a ton of silver linings too. So, um, I want you to really, understand and embrace this key. So again, it's the seventh key. No right or wrong, no lesser or greater. Simply, it is what it is. So that's it for this key. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you or hear you, what have you, in the next video.